But, your name popped up over the weekend when you tweeted that you returned your Tesla. So you used to be a supporter of Elon Musk's vision. What happened? What changed your mind?
Well, I mean, for me, speaking of Me Too, when he was accused of sexual misconduct and paid out $250,000 to this person, I decided, like, I can't live in that hypocrisy of driving that car when, that happened. But also, I'm kind of I'm so annoyed with all of these billionaires, with like the exception of a few, but especially Elon Musk, like, you buy Twitter to destroy it for $40 billion, right? $40 billion. Elon Musk, imagine if he donated that money to UNICEF.
I know. Yeah.
He would change the world. There would be no hunger. He could
go in his pocket and donate that money.
He could go in his pocket and it wouldn't cost $40 billion. But these guys, I mean,
by the way,
hello, everyone, and what's on tap for today was, you just saw, was a little bit of a tease. It's the rear view, folks, also known as the view. That's right, folks. We are going to be talking about the guest cackler on the rear view. It's Allyssa Milano of Who's the Boss fame, and we wanted to basically bring a reaction video to you. These are the kind of questions that I think a normal person would be asking somebody as a follow-up, and just to get an idea of the delusional mindset of these woke Hollywood activists, and especially with Allyssa Milano. See, when you got all this money and fame and fortune, it's so easy to be a liberal. It's so easy to be a progressive. It's so easy to be a Democrat, because it's all about your feelings, right? Has nothing to do with what's really right or what's really going to work. It's just about how your feelings are there, how in touch you are, how woke you are. Well, folks, we're going to dive right into that. But before we do, if this is the first time that you've joined us, we certainly appreciate it. You're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show, and I'm your guest host for today. My name is Dr. Shaikh, and we're going to get into all of that. So let's dive right in, and let's see what the guest cackler, Allyssa Milano, has to say about Elon Musk, her EV car, and all the other stuff that these woke Hollywood activists love to talk about and promote. We're going to go that right now.
Your name popped up over the weekend when you tweeted that you returned your Tesla. So,
see this now? Here's the beginning right here. Now she's staring out. She wants to see what the crowd reaction is, right? She wants to see what does the audience do and say. So there's that little shift of the eyes to the left, the little bit of the uplift of the lips here, wondering what's going to happen next. So let's go on and see what's happening.
You used to be a supporter of Elon Musk.
There's that nervous laugh, and there's a left finger going up there to scratch, going, I wonder what I have to say. Let me pause and think to make sure that I say the correct thing. All right, and let's go, because the question was asked, right? In terms of where she gave up her Tesla. This was the whole thing that was going on about there, and she turned into a Volkswagen, which we know was being made okay by the Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party or whatever at that time. So let's see what she has to say about this.
Vision. What happened? What changed your mind?
Well, I mean, for me, speaking of Me Too, when he was accused of sexual misconduct and paid out $250,000 to this person, I decided, like, I can't live in that hypocrisy of driving that car.
So she can't live in the hypocrisy of driving that car because he paid out $200,000 or $250,000 to an unnamed person, settling, obviously, some type of a sexual harassment lawsuit, right? So that was a hypocrisy that she couldn't stand. What about with Paula Jones, when Bill Clinton paid out, I believe it was $750,000, $750,000 to Paula Jones? What about the hypocrisy then in terms of following Bill Clinton, who you fawn over and who you say is one of the best presidents ever? See that? That's a hypocrisy that these Hollywood woke elitists never want to talk about. Before, you can go back and there's a ton of tweets. There's one tweet of Allyssa Milano saying that there were 4 people that she would love to have dinner with. One of them was Jesus. One of them was Roberto Clemente. I don't even know how she knows about him, the great ball player for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The other one was, I think it was Bono. And then it was Elon Musk. So she's got Elon Musk in with Jesus as someone that she would love to have had dinner with. All right. And now she's basically throwing Elon Musk under the bus. Let's continue with her hypocrisy here as she cackles on with the other cacklers of the rear view.
When, that happened. But also, I'm kind of I'm so annoyed.
I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed with this whole thing. I just don't know what really happens over here. Just so annoyed.
With all of these billionaires, with the exception of a few, but especially Elon.
Exception of a few billionaires like George Soros and any other of the leftist billionaires that are out there. As long as those billionaires are on the left side, the progressive side, the Democratic side, right? As long as they're on my side, then I love those billionaires. Once those billionaires, don't agree with my type of thinking, this is what Allyssa Milano was saying, and the Democrats and progressives and leftists and the hypocrites, once they don't agree with us, Donald Trump was great before he decided to run for president, right? He was a great billionaire. Now he's one of the worst billionaires out there. We got to take him down.
Elon Musk, you buy Twitter to destroy it for 40 billion.
This is the delusion that these guys are under. So some guy goes out there, billionaire, he spends $44 billion. This is a person who is absolutely so forward-thinking, his mind is just absolutely, looking at so many innovative ideas. And some of them are going to work, some of them aren't. But this is a person who, with Tesla, folks, what is he doing to the automobile market? What is he doing for the battery market? What is he doing for the electric vehicle market? Look at what he's pushing the boundaries of innovation. And so here's Allyssa Milano, who had just relied upon the paychecks of basically, her acting abilities, if you want to call them acting abilities. And she's saying that some guy decides to spend $44 billion on a company to destroy it. Oh, when it was losing millions and millions of dollars before, and nobody was out there trying to buy it, that was perfectly fine, as long as it continued the promotion of leftist ideas, progressive ideas, democratic ideas, socialist ideas, crushing down and just clamping down on free thought, free speech. Then it was perfectly fine. Then it's okay to destroy Twitter. Twitter's not destroying the First Amendment then. It's only destroying the First Amendment now because somebody wants to restore the First Amendment and freedom of speech rights to everybody. Now you're talking about somebody trying to destroy something and, paying billions of dollars for something just to destroy it. These people are utterly, absolutely delusional in their thought process. And that's why these are some of the most inarticulate, these are some of the most, low IQ people out there. These cackling hens, Joy Behar, Allyssa Milano, the other Alyssa, Sarah, Anna Navarro, Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin, whose name really isn't Sunny, it's Assumption, but she absolutely, right? Doesn't she talk about everybody else, changing their name, not really talking about their ethnicity? She's got other ethnicities. She's not truly black. Come on now, okay? But Assumption something. These people, again, hypocrites, hypocrites, hypocrites. Let's continue with the hypocrisy of this hen.
$1 billion, right? $40 billion. Elon Musk, imagine if he donated that money to UNICEF.
I know.
Yeah. He would change the world.
You know how much money Elon Musk has donated to charities? You know how much money has been given to UNICEF? You know how much money has been given to the United Nations? And a lot of it does go to do great work, but a lot of it obviously is just taken up in graft, in bribes, and just goes in the pockets of these leaders of these underdeveloped nations who are just lining their own pockets with money that should be going the right places. But don't you dare say that Elon Musk is not donating to charity or doing things that are going to help, the standardization, increase the living standard of people around the world and around the globe, all right? You have no idea what you're talking about, Allyssa Milano. What the heck have you done? And you might have done some things, I don't know. But why don't you talk about the things that you've done And obviously, you've been a great ambassador for UNICEF. That's great. But don't try to tie that in with something about Elon Musk that you have no idea about.
There would be no hunger. He
could go in his pocket and donate that money.
He could go in his pocket and it wouldn't cost 40 billion. But
cost 40 billion.
these guys, I mean,
By the way, there are loads of electric cars coming on the market. That's not the only one.
And inexpensive ones as well. Fairly inexpensive.
Did you hear that? Inexpensive ones, fairly inexpensive. It's easy for a multimillionaire like Sunny Ascension to talk about everybody, you know, that, oh, they're electric vehicle. You know, they're pretty reasonably priced. Well, that's in the eye of the person who's trying to buy it. If you're making $40, $50, $60, $70,000, it's hard to buy a $40, $50,000 car, folks. You don't go and spend 60, 70, 80% of your yearly income on a car. That's just being stupid. And especially when when you're talking about the negligible impact that they're going to have on the carbon imprint of a person. But so here she is again, having no freaking idea in terms of cost relationship to the price of a product and to the income of the person, okay, who is going. Now, yes, you're making $60,000, $70,000 a year. Electric cars around, you know, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Okay, maybe. But that's not happening right now, folks.
I do have a legal note. Elon Musk has denied these allegations of sexual misconduct, calling them utterly.
Now, of course, they had to put this inside here because they have just been hit. Remember the thing when they talked about it was Turning Point USA, and they said white supremacists were allowed to be a part of the whole program, and they just got absolutely hit with it. The lawyers went after them. Charlie Kirk and company went after them right away. And as I said before, you have got to play offense with these dimwits, these idiots, these morons. You've got to play offense. You cannot allow them to put forth a narrative that is absolutely false, packed with lies. You've got to hit them where it hurts in their pocketbooks, and that's what you've got to basically do in their pocketbooks, and make sure that your lawyers are there to tell them that you better desist with the lies, or we're gonna go after you for libel and for slander, depending upon whatever the aspects of the allegations or the comments have been made. And that's exactly why you see Ascension here come out with the caveat in terms of we have to just say, and this is a lawyer's note, attorney's note, and that's why she's talking about that.
Untrue. In your opinion, let me ask you this then. What happens if things continue the way they are on Twitter? I think it's become a hellscape, but it's been a hellscape for a minute.
I mean, I was always on the receiving end of trolls, right?
Yeah.
So, like, to me, it doesn't feel any different. But, you know, I always open to...
Well, the reason you were on that side is because a lot of the comments that you made were just ripe for reply. Now, listen, you know, bullying, no. But you make a comment out there and it's a dumb comment, people are going to basically make a comment on that. And that's freedom of speech. And that's perfectly fine. And you've made some really, really delusional, goofy, ridiculous comments, just like the one with the Tesla. You thought it was going to be great, going to be woke, going to get a lot of pat on the backs there, Allyssa, that, hey, I traded in my Tesla for a VW. Not thinking anything about, if you're going to talk about something, you got to be talking about the history of everything. What goes around comes around, Allyssa, and you find that out each and every single time whenever you open up your mouth or you start typing on Twitter.
Twitter with like, you know what I mean? Like with a
hatred.
helmet on because I'm so scared like something's gonna come out and hit me.
Do you think you'll stay on it?
Yeah, because we can't cede that territory. It's like a turf war now. That's how I look at it. And we can't,
Not that one you don't, there's other ones you can come and grab, leave that to them, because that's what that is meant to be now. It's not meant to be any better.
But if
than
we're
what
not
saying.
representing our side of the political discourse.
And so my question, Allyssa, would have been is, now you feel that you're not able to put out your side, your perspective, your viewpoint, your narrative. What are you talking about? You're still on Twitter. You're perfectly fine to go and do that. What you're upset about is the fact is that now they're allowing replies to your stupidity, to the ridiculousness, to the delusional aspects of your tweets, because your tweets have made you become a twit, so to speak. A twitess, in other words. And so that's what you're upset about, is the fact that replies are now that were being not allowed before, opinions that were not being allowed to be put forth, people's opinions being shut down, people being, in terms shadow banned, people's accounts being terminated or canceled or suspended for a while because of remarks that they made that were just remarks. They had no malice, nothing intended on there. But they were being made at that, but they were being blocked. So you loved that because you had the entire, Twitterverse for you to say whatever you wanted, and there was nobody able to basically say anything back to you. So that was a perfect field for you folks. That was great. But now people can reply, they can make fun of you, they can say that you things that in their opinion are ridiculous, that are, dumb, that have no basis of fact. That's why you don't like it.
Aren't we just saying, you know what, you can have Twitter?
Well, I'll tell you, some things you have to walk away from until you can get the control you need of it.
Right.
That right there, folks, that right there sums up the entire thing. You just heard what you just said. Control, right? Control of everything. You just got to cede things away until you can regain back control. That's what they want. They wanted control of the freedom of speech. So the freedom of speech was only coming from one side and not allowing the other side to have access to the same freedom of speech that the leftists and the Democrats and the progressives and the socialists and previously, prior to Elon Musk, at Twitter were doing.
Now, there's no way to get this control.
Yeah.
And so find the ones that you can get and fix, and then come back
There
and
you
run
see,
that
right
over.
there.
Right.
But do yourself
I know it is
a
about
favor.
self-care.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
Do
don't read the
yourself a
comments, for
favor.
one thing. Do not
You
read
never
the comments.
ever read the comments.
I always read the comments.
Especially when they
Who
say
doesn't read the comments?
The comments
Everybody
get worse
reads the
as you go
comments.
down the line.
I know.
You can never.
I know.
Whoopi and Joy taught us that when
Don't read the comments.
When we each joined the show.
Do you turn the
Don't ever
comments
read them.
off?
No, I just don't read them. I'm not interested unless it's somebody that I respect.
Yeah. Well, I have another question.
I left.
She left.
Yeah, I
She left.
because I thought
I respect
can't
that.
take it.
Whoopi, all I can say is good riddance, but see, before, you can't take it. You have a really thin skin. You've got to have thick skin out there. But obviously, you just want to give up. That's fine. Well, sayonara. Goodbye, Charlie. Goodbye.
It anymore.
I respect that.
It's
Listen, I've spent many days with my therapist talking about
What
Twitter
some
and social
anonymous
media.
person said to you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's
Someone who
hurtful.
doesn't know you,
Yeah.
somebody who doesn't know you, hasn't
Yeah.
met you, doesn't know your family, doesn't know your.
It shouldn't matter. You make your comments, and when you make your comments, when you make your comments how they are. You know what type of response you're going to get from one side or the other. And again, just like Whoopi said, you have no idea who these people are. Who gives a rip who they are? I could care less about the comments I receive back from Twitter, the comments that are great, people that appreciate your comments, people that like your comments, people that want to share your comments, people that applaud your comments, great. People that don't, great. You know what? Let's hear from the other side. Let's have that Twitter battle on, with the battle of words. Let's talk about that. Let's do it on the platform, an open discourse of ideas. Keep it civil, keep it honest, keep it right. Nothing wrong with that, but you guys don't even want that. You just, the leftist side, your side, just wants to control the narrative, control the Twitterverse, and not allow any dissent of opinion, any dissent of thought. You always say you're for diversity. You are for diversity, but you're not for diversity of thought. You're not for diversity of opinion. You're only for that diversity when it fits into your definition of what diversity should be.
Doesn't know anything about you.
Yeah.
But we let them in and say, you have that, oh,
It's the,
hell no.
it's the accessibility.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
There, she's pulling something out, right? Look, that's exactly what that was before, right? Elon Musk is doing exactly what you're doing, Twitter, Whoopi. He's cleaning the cesspool out. That stuff that you were talking, pulling it out of the thing. Finally, Elon Musk is going in there with his $44 billion, like a roto-rooter, basically, all right? And just taking the sewage, sucking the sewage out that was there before and making it nice and clean and hygienic and inviting for everybody.
Stopped reading it when people came after my kids,
Right.
the way that I mothered.
Right.
And I stopped.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
like,
it might have been also the fact that you decide to put your opinions and just shove them down everybody's throat, thinking that your way is the best way. Look, I'm all for putting opinions out, but when you put your opinions out, that's what you think that should happen, but that doesn't mean that you've got the right to put down other people. Maybe that's why people now going after children, whatever, that should be an off topic, and I don't condone that at all. So if they did, that was absolutely wrong. But she's got to realize too is that she made comments and hurtful comments against other people's way of what they were doing, how they were parenting. And so people were responding probably in the way that they were responding on Twitter. But, for her to say that, oh, woe is me and play the victim here, assumption, that's just absolutely, again, delusion. It's in your mind, delusion, collusion, it's an illusion.
because I'm going to go out there and I'm going to find these people.
And it's not like, it's not like, it's
Liam
just
Neeson
so,
knows
it's just so accessible now. We are
Yeah.
so accessible. I mean, I always say people have been trying to cancel me from the 80s, but they had to do it through fan mail.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they had to
Yeah.
mail me a letter. Yeah, they had to mail me a letter to tell me their opinions. Now it's
And to
just.
spend money.
Well, it goes on and on, it rambles, they continue to cackle even more, and then Alyssa is asking Alyssa and saying that, she was named after her, blah, 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 cackle, 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 all the hens and everything. But just wanted to, put some of this thing in perspective, the questions, these are just the normal questions that I have, that I think you guys have, that you would be wondering, that you would be asking, if this was a world in which those things were allowed. Right? But again, she's coming into an arena, she's coming into the pen of the cackling hens, and they're lobbing softballs basically at her. And she's allowed to spout whatever opinion and thought, which is perfectly fine. That's what the whole thing is about, First Amendment, right? Freedom of speech, the entire thing. So she's coming out there on this platform, which is geared specifically for people to put out their opinion. That's sort of one-sided. And the audience is obviously very left. Obviously, these hens are very left and progressive and socialist as well in their thinking. So that's exactly what happens. But like I said before, if there was somebody out there that was doing something, thinking, and basically saying, hey, let's do some pushback. Let's ask some questions and say, well, you said this about this person. Well, other people that you support have done the exact same thing, but you still support them. Because why? Because you still believe, because they're still siding with you on the things that you believe in. When one of those people decides to go off of your reservation, that's when you say, no longer needed. So when Elon Musk, the billionaire, was doing things that you loved, hey, he was a great billionaire. But as soon as he decides to do something that you don't like, he decides to take over. If Elon Musk had taken over Twitter and it continued what Twitter was doing previously, he would have been your love fest billionaire boy, Alyssa. Of course he would have. Anyways, folks, we hope you enjoyed this segment of the Rear View and the Cackling Hens with the guest cackler, Allyssa Milano. And you've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh show here. And I've been your guest host. My name is Dr. Shaikh, and I'll leave you with my final parting thoughts, as I always do, and that is, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, like these gaggle of cackling hens, well, these guys are completely wrong.